Welcome to another exciting episode of Musa and Show. Here is what we have today.
Sanibona, ngifisa sikhulume namuhla ngale chaos ebeyilapha eParliament phakathi kwe-DA kanye ne-EFF. Kodwa-ke ngifisa ngokwakho ukuzwa ungitshela wena uzwa kanjani lokho abakusho kuyiqiniso noma kungamanga. Okusho uBasiJohn la ukuthi i-EFF iyafa. Uthe nje asikho nesidingo sokuthi ngaze kubizwe abantu abazoyibulala. Bayayizibulalela nje abanikazi bayi-EFF bona ngokwabo. Sizomcaphuna-ke uBasiJohn ekhuluma lokho. Kanye noMinister uMalazi usho njalo naye wathi i-EFF iyafa. Ngicela ukuzwa-ke ngokuphawula kwakho. I-EFF wena uma uyibuka kuliphi izinga? Ngifuna ukukulethela le video kodwa nje yiyo lento enza ukuthi ngibe concern ngaze ngathi cha angenze le video sikhulume nje ngalolu daba le-EFF. Uma ngabe iyafa yini engayenzi kahle? Kanti kunevideo engiyibonile la kaSolphenduka noMacG. Ukhuluma enye into ebalulekile uSol laphaya. Engifisa ukucaphuna ivideo yakhona phamba nje singene kule video ngifisa ukuyicaphuna siyibheke lento ukuthi yenzeke kanjani ngicela uzwe la.
If it was Jacob Zuma going to the White House, sitting there, and then he brings a businessman, a fairly successful businessman, an Indian man, right? The Guptas. And there's this technology that we refuse, or we're not refusing, they refuse to play ball with our laws in the country. And then the Gupta was there and saying, you know what? We need this technology in every South African police station. And then he tells Trump that. And then 2 days down the line, they are gazetting the amendment of requirements, BEE requirements. Literally, they are literally untying laws to help accommodate this American business, thanks to this Indian businessman who's friends, or not friends, but who clearly calls the shots. What do we call that? There's a word that they threw around. There was even a whole commission, Zondo commission.
What? State capture.
Yeah. Is that, wait, man, guys. And there's no hoo-ha, there's no big,
Zero.
There's no articles.
Zero.
So,
The media would have a bloodbath with that.
bro,
If that
like,
was Zuma.
man, Johan Rupert, bro, I mean, shut
Number
up.
one, if it was still Zuma then, this meeting would have been very unsuccessful because there was no white person involved. So having to bring white people was actually to help this. That's why even Cyril had to bring all these white people to Trump, because obviously we know how Trump moves.
Yeah.
So he only listens to white people who've got money.
I
obviously.
said that last week, remember?
Yeah, you did.
And
You
I
did.
did say Trump only listens.
Yazi mangizwa uSolphenduka ekhuluma kanje. Engikhumbuza ama-comment esinoke ngokudibana nayo la uma ngabe ngifunda la. Avela aqhamuka umuntu athi uZuma wadayisa ngezwe kumaGupta. Kodwa akaze kulabantu abakhomentayo bangitshela ukuthi la selilanda ubani. Wayelidayise ngamalini. Ngithi-ke kubantu ngiyacela bangilekelele abaziyo. iSouth Africa yaspenda 1 billion kwiZondo Commission of Inquiry. Kodwa akekho noyi-1 owaprove ukuthi amaGupta acorrupt ngokwenzani. Akekho noyedwa. Kodwa lonto lona namhlanje sesayiphila. Ususola ubuza imibuzo lolu. Uthi kube bekuZuma obehambe namaGupta ukuyobona upresident. Ngabe imedia iyaphithizela. Ngabe kuthiwa lonto i-state capture. Kungani kahle kahle lento ingenzeki manje? Ngiyacabanga ukuthi uZuma akaze abonakale namaGupta. Akaze abonakale eno-meeting namaGupta ehambe nawo endaweni athize. Kodwa wayiphazamiseke eParliament kwazi kwathi ubaba kaDuduzani namaGupta. Yonke lonto le manje ngifisa-ke ukuza ukuphawula kwakho. Asingeneni kodabeni lelale chaos athi lapha eParliament. Soqala-ke ngoMinister uMalazi emveni kwakhe bese-ke silanda udaba la ukuze wazi ukuthi wenzakaleni lele lika Basijohn.
Honorable Minister Malatsi.
Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker. In response to the member statement shared by Honorable Bodlani, and I think also the member from the MK, I think it's important to acknowledge that what the gazetted regulation seeks to do is nothing away from the spirit of the existing provisions of the Act, particularly broad-based Black economic empowerment, which makes provision for the introduction of equity equivalence as an alternative to investment. This is not some invention by a villager from Limpopo called Malatsi. It is there in the rules, and I would want to refresh the member from the MK. The BBBE Act, the Amendment Act, was assented on the 28th of February 2024. And if everybody knows who the president of the country at that time is, you know that is the current leader of the founder of his own party. So he must refresh his own memory about the empowerment laws of this country. And 2014, I see Honorable, yes, 2014. And to the EFF, there was a member from the EFF who went on a tirade about some conspiracy of assassination. You don't need an assassination to see that the EFF is finished. The EFF is finished. And that is why...
When you respond, because you are not the one supposed to respond.
And
We've asked an international
Order, members.
Inkabi.
Order.
Enlisting an international Inkabi. An international Inkabi.
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, please wait. Honorable Minister, please pause. Honorable member from the EFF. Honorable member, please proceed with your point of order. What point are you rising on?
Honorable Deputy Speaker, the minister is out of order. He cannot come to this house instead of responding to the statements that the members put forward. Yeah, now he's talking about the finished EFF. Which criteria is he using to determine that EFF is finished? He can't do that. Respond to their member statements.
Honorable members, honorable member, I have not recognized you. There is a point of order from your member on the floor, so you are now interrupting your member. So I am busy ruling. Honorable member, you cannot take a point of order whilst I'm busy ruling on another point of order. Please consult the rules, and could the chief whip of the EFF also assist with your members, please? Honorable Minister, there was a point that you made certain remarks about a party. Now, honorable members, in terms of the rules, and this was also dealt with in the courts, that if it is a reflection on an individual member, you need a substantive motion. If it refers to a party, it is not, in terms of the rules, not allowed. So you may cast any comments on a party. That is obviously the minister's opinion, and I would suggest that the honourable member take it up with the minister. Yes, honourable member, I will now allow you. What point are you rising on?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to rise on a point of order, Honorable Speaker, because the Honorable Minister was not in Washington when John Steenhuisen was making this comment. He was not invited. And John Steenhuisen was speaking there not as a political leader of the TA, but as a minister of government.
Honourable member,
was not speaking as
I am addressing you.
of the TA.
Honourable member, that is not relevant. That is not a point of order. That is a matter for debate. We will now proceed. Honourable Minister Malatsi, you have a minute left.
Thanks very much, Deputy Speaker. In the interest of progress, we would leave the status of the finished parties to their members to ventilate. But the important thing here is that we are dealing with make sure that the existing regulations in the telecommunications sector are standardized and speak to the spirit of the empowerment rules of this country. And those are covered in the BBBE Act of this country. What we are doing is to make sure that there is consistency across the board. The same rules apply to every player in the market. There is no conspiracy of an exemption for one particular company here. It is about an effort to seek that the rules consistently speak to the spirit of the Act around empowerment and the transformation goals of this country, which are non-negotiable, and there's no deviation from that. Thanks, House Chair.
Njengoba uzwake la bekhuluma kakhulukazi uminister othi cha EFF ayidingi nje ukuthi ngaze kube khona umuntu ongathi uyayibulala, bayazibulalela bona nje abanikazi bayo. Yonke lento esuse chaos. Besithi phelile ke le chaos kanti hayi isazoqala phansi. Ngizodlala ke manje uBas John. Sizweni ukuthi uthini. Kodwa nawe ushe ezinye izinto la ngengifisa ukuthi uma usuzilalile bese ubeke ukuphawula kwakho. Ngoba naye ukhuluma into ecishe ifane. Yabona kube ngicabanga enye indlela bengizoze ngithi mhlawumbe lento into ekhulunywa ku-DA ngoba phela uminister we-DA no basijone naye we-DA kodwa babeka into efanayo ukuthi i-EFF iyazifela nje ayinasidingo sokuthi ngaba khona umuntu ozoyibulala. Ngicela uzwe la.
Minister Steenhuisen.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, and I'm very grateful for the animated response received from the EFF members. I'm very glad they take great followings in what I say and do. And let me just say this, I stand absolutely 100% behind everything I said in the White House. The reason that the Government of National Unity was formed was to ensure that the centre in South African politics held, and that we had a government that actually understood what it needed to do to grow the economy, to create jobs, and to make life better for ordinary South Africans. Because everywhere in the world where the EFF's policy suite has been applied, it has led to suffering, hunger, unemployment, and mass exodus from those places. We don't want that for South Africa. We want growth and we want jobs. I also think it's quite amusing that the EFF think that we need to call on foreign powers to
Honourable
take...
Minister, if you could just pause. There's a point of order. Honourable Member, what is your point of order?
No, thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. The Minister is simply misleading the people of South Africa. The GNU is approaching a year.
Honourable Member,
there are no
that
jobs.
is not a
The
point of
economy is not growing.
It
The
is
people of South
your
Africa are hungry.
opinion, and it is a
And everything he's
question
saying
of
about the
debate.
EFF.
That was not a point of order. Minister, please proceed.
The only thing that's not growing is the economic freedom fighters. 10.79%. In the last election, 9.52%, leaving 5 members behind. But it's also not only the members that lost their seats. It's the
But so is the DA, John. So is the
intellectual
DA.
people that are
I did
leaving
not
the EFF.
recognize you.
You see, all the EFF knows is disruption and chaos and the like. That's all they know about to do. They don't build a single house.
You must learn your statistics.
Honourable members on the platform, we are going to mute you if you continue interrupting. Yes, Honourable Member on the floor. My apologies, Honourable Minister. Honourable Kwela, please mute the Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I want to rise on a point of order on Minister John Steenhuisen. He is not responding, Honourable Deputy Speaker. We've said here, we have specifically quoted the words that he uttered there in the White House.
Honourable Member,
He said that the door must be permanently shut.
Honourable Member, that is not
must be permanently shut.
Honourable,
it means they can even rig elections and kill people.
That is not a point
That's what
of order. Honourable Minister, please proceed. And could I ask the table to please remove the member who keeps on interrupting on the platform?
That door must remain shut, and it must remain shut permanently, because the day that that party of chaos gets into any form of power in South Africa, we will be down the river of corruption, maladministration, on-point tenders, and all of that chaos that we've seen wherever the EFF goes. But we don't need to call on foreign governments to get rid of the EFF. They're doing that all on their own, which is why Dr. Mboyeseni Ndlozi left the EFF, which is why Mzwanele Manyi left the EFF, which is why Floyd Shivambu, one of the founders, left the EFF.
Honourable members.
For the last person to leave the EFF, please switch off the lights.
Honourable Minister, please pause for a minute. Honourable Mokwela, please remove that member from the platform. This is now continued interruption. Apologies, Minister. I will now proceed. I'm not entertaining any further points of order now. We will allow the Minister to complete. Minister, please proceed.
I said very clearly that with the last person to leave the EFF, please switch off the lights. We need to save as much electricity as we possibly can. The reality is that what you saw...
Please remove that member from the platform. This is now continued interruption. Apologies, Minister. I will now proceed. I'm not entertaining any further points of order now. We will allow the Minister to complete. Minister, please proceed.
I said very clearly that with the last person to leave the EFF, please switch off the lights. We need to save as much electricity as we possibly can. The reality is that what you saw in the White House, the builders sitting in the Oval Office, building a better South Africa, attracting investment, creating jobs, growing the economy. What you saw shown on the TV screen were the breakers that want to kill, that want to divide.
Honourable Minister, please pause. There is a point of order. Yes.
Amakukuningi akushilo basiJohn kodwa uyamuzwa uthi abantu ade behambe nabo eWhite House are the builders. Ingakho ngifake leya video kaSol ekuqaleni ngathi uZuma sakhuluma yonke into le singazange sambona ekumhlangano namagupta kodwa kuloko simbonile upresident. Kanti state capture into enjani? Ngiyafisa ukwazi ukuthi state capture into enjani. Asiqhubeke nayo basiJohn. Ngizophawula ivideo masiqedile.
Honourable member, what is your point of order?
Speaker.
No, I did not recognize you.
Are you looking at me?
Adams, the EFF.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Perhaps we must ask the Minister if it counts as building when he sleeps with the wives of his colleagues in his political party.
Honourable member, that is Honourable Adams, you don't have the floor now. Honourable Lonzi, that is unacceptable in terms of Rule 85, and I now request you to withdraw it.
It's a question. I'm not making a statement.
You are casting aspersions.
I'm asking a question.
Honourable Lonzi, please withdraw.
Okay, Speaker, I withdraw my question to the Minister on why he sleeps with the...
No, you don't withdraw conditionally. You just withdraw.
I withdraw the question, Speaker.
Proceed, Honourable Adams.
Thank you, Speaker. More or less the same thing was done to me yesterday, but it was a white man, and I suppose that's okay. Speaker, the Minister must not mislead this House. The people in the White House were not the builders. Those were the beneficiaries of apartheid and the toy boys.
That is not a point of order. It is a point of argument. We will now proceed. Honourable Minister.
Because I'm all for accountability, I'll answer the Honourable Lonzi, and that I've learnt in politics long enough that the only people that worry about what goes on in other people's bedrooms have nothing going on in their own. Madam Speaker, the reality is...
Honourable Minister, your time has expired. Honourable Minister, your time has expired. Honourable members, we will now proceed. Honourable Lonzi, what is your point of order?
Deputy Speaker, I don't know if you can hear me.
Of the EFF, I'm trying to address a point of order from your members, but you are interrupting. So what do you want me to do?
Deputy Speaker.
Ignore Honourable Lonzi? What must I do?
My point of order is on consistency, Deputy Speaker. I asked the Minister a question, and then you said my question was casting aspersion. In his response, he also casts an aspersion. I wonder if you're going to ask him to withdraw as well, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Member, what the Minister said was a general observation. He did not direct it at you. We will now proceed. Honourable members, I will consult the Hansard and make sure, Honourable Reddy, what is your point?
Honourable Deputy Speaker, how does the Honourable Minister know what's happening in the bed of Honourable Lonzi?
That is for the ministers to say. Honourable members, I am now ruling that I will listen to the Hansard and come back with a ruling. Honourable members, I will come back with a ruling, and that is final. We will now proceed. Deputy Minister Nell.
The Minister is the Juicy.
Deputy Minister Nell, please proceed.
Deputy Speaker, thank you very, very much. And I would like to thank the Honourable Glomo for his
Deputy Speaker, order, please. My hand has been up.
repatriation and reburial of Duma and Tiny.
Deputy Minister, please pause for a while. Honourable Ntetwa, what is your point?
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. You see, Deputy Speaker, we always have problem when it's you sitting there in that chair. Because the way you are ruling, you are so biased and you are actually dividing this house and you are collapsing the sitting every time. Can you please be consistent every time when you do your ruling? Because now you are confusing this house and you are making things worse for this house. Please refrain from what you are doing. We are calling order on you. Be consistent in everything that you do.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Noted, and that is why I will listen to the Hansard and come back with a ruling. Honourable Adams, I'm not entertaining. I have ruled on this matter, so we won't discuss it any further. I have ruled. Honourable Deputy Minister Nell.
Deputy Speaker, does it not bother you that you're not even trying when it comes to the EFF to just display the hatred that you have for us as members of Parliament? Does it not bother you, Deputy Speaker? Does it not bother you because you've been consistent?
Of order. We will now proceed. Deputy Minister Nell.